Hello amigos and welcome back, and in today's video we are going to be taking a look at DILUC. Now I know the heading says DILUC trash, let's just clear that up. Is DILUC trash? Well, it actually depends on the way you build him. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a showcase video showing you how to build DILUC and slightly how not to build DILUC. Okay, so here you go. Here is my level 80 DILUC built. Okay, I mean, let's take a look at his stats. For attack, we've got 1,571. Now, let's be honest, for a main DPS character at level 80, you need to be hitting higher numbers than that. You're going to deal damage, but some of the bosses, particularly when you get to 80 and AR5, they're going to hit a lot harder than your usual monsters. So 1,500 damage, while it's good, it's not amazing. Defense, you've got 1,085. Now defense is almost a wasted stat for DILUC. You know, for DILUC you want to be dealing high damage. You're not really fussed on the amount of defense you have. Although I have noticed that on my main build, which I will be showing in a second, in my main build he does have less defense, which does mean if you don't finish your enemies off quickly, you can get wiped out. So let's take a look in the details. Okay, so here are the substats. We've actually not got it too bad. I mean, we've got crit dam of 74.9, which is pretty decent, and we've got a crit rate of 56.8. So again, we're going to be hitting off crits maybe 50% of the time, and also damage output, we're going to get an extra 74.9% damage to that as well. We haven't got any others. We've just got the physical resistance, but that's because the party settings, and we've also got energy recharge as well. Now DILUC tends to get his ultimate and his elemental burst and his elemental skill back quite quickly, so that's something that we obviously do want to keep at a high level. So let's go in. Before we take a look at his artifacts and the build, let's just take a look at his base talents. Okay, so DILUC's talents are quite simple. He is just a guy that likes to swing a sword hard, essentially. So his main skill is 4 consecutive, or his main talent and his combat talent is normal attack. Pause. Yeah, so DILUC's normal attack is going to give us 4 consecutive strikes. He has a charged attack, which is going to deal continuous damage, and also is going to drain your stamina over the continuous slash period. We've also got a plunging attack now. DILUC is a character I do like to get off with a plunging attack. I do think he does deal a lot of damage for that. And when we look into the attributes, you can see here, he is just a guy that does like to swing that sword hard. You can see here, you know, the damage output for his swings is ridiculous. Yeah, so you can see for the low-high plunge damage, we also get an extra bonus as well. Moving on to the next one is his main skill. So he performs a forward slash, dealing pyro damage. And the thing with DILUC that's different to a lot of other characters is that he can use it 3 times. So he's got 3 slashes to use, and you can also use them in combination with your normal combos. We will be doing a little bit of a showcase, so don't worry, we'll get to see that in action. Again, the 3 hits hit different damage. Again, similar to his normal attack, we do have a lot of damage output coming in. You know, DILUC is a guy, like I said, that likes to swing that sword around. Moving on, his main elemental burst is going to be the Dawn, which releases an intense flame, knocking enemies backwards, dealing pyro damage. It also looks freaking amazing. He's a massive phoenix, and it sort of flies towards the enemies. Most of us know what DILUC does, but for those of us that don't, yeah, it's an amazing skill. I will be definitely showing it off later. And also, once at the conclusion of the Phoenix, or at the end of that part of the AoE, it infuses his sword with Pyro, which allows him to deal Pyro damage, which also is going to sort of add to the benefits of dealing that damage, especially if you want to start mixing in different elements with him. So skill attributes, the slashing damage, because he does obviously have the slashing, is going to be 286%. So as you can see, it is definitely all to deal with damage output from DILUC. All we want is damage, damage, damage. So his charge attack is going to cost 50% less, and its duration is increased by 3 seconds. So if you do want to just go for that hold down circle and just go for some massive chunk swings, again, a guy loves swinging his sword, you can do that as well. And his other passive talent, the Pyro Enchantment, provided by Dawn, it lasts 4 seconds longer, and additionally, you get a 20% Pyro damage bonus. So again, this is a guy who wants to deal damage. So his constellations, right, so we actually managed to get very lucky and get a constellation 1 of DILUC. We actually got DILUC back to back on this account. I pulled 2 5-stars and both were DILUC. So the first one is going to deal 15% more damage to enemies with HP above 50. Again, it's all to do with dealing damage. So his first couple of hits are going to deal more damage. Moving on, we haven't got these unlocked, but the second constellation increases his attack speed. The only downside I would say to DILUC is he's quite a slow moving character. He does love swinging that sword, but it does take him a while to swing it. The next one, we've got your standard. It's going to increase the levels of your talents. And the next one, casting this one, increases the damage down within 2 seconds. The combo deals an additional 40% damage, and that effect lasts for the next 2 seconds. That's ridiculous. Again, more damage dealing. The next one is going to be the boost to his elemental burst, and the last one, after casting Searing Onslaught within 2 normal attacks, within the next 6 seconds, will have their damage and attack speed increased by 30. So again, it's all to deal with the DILUC hitting hard, dealing damage, and being quick when he does it. But obviously, if you don't have these unlocked and he is a bit slow moving, it's not to say that he's a bad character. He is still insane at the amount of damage that this guy can get out. But obviously, with constellations, it does improve the speed at which he can do that. Looking at his constellations, looking at his talents, you're going to want this guy to have as much attack as possible. Attack and crit damage and crit rate as well. Those are going to be your 3 things you're going to be looking for. So let's take a look into his weapon. So his weapon is a level 60 weapon at the moment. It's been refined twice, which is good. So it's refinement rank 2. It's going to deal that extra 300% attack damage, but that's only going to be once every 15 seconds, so we have to be careful for that. Moving on, his Artefact Range. Now, I did have this artifact set on initially on my DILUC before I got my main set, but let's just take a look into it. So at the moment we've got the Gladiators Finale set 2-piece. So this one I managed to roll some pretty amazing stats on. So obviously all flowers of HP, but we got attack, crit dam, and energy recharge. So again, those are going to be the stats that you are looking for this character. Obviously, rather than energy recharge, we would want crit rate, but we can't always win. And a bit of energy recharge for this guy is not a bad thing, considering we want to be pulling off as many of those pyro slashes as possible. On to the next piece, we've got the Destiny. Again, it's the attack piece, so it's going to have attack. We haven't really got great stats on here, but the 2-piece set is going to give us that bonus of an extra 18% to our attack, and the crit dam on it is a decent boost to his crit damage. That's it, we got the Berserker's Timepiece. Now again, main stat is going to be attack, and for the sub-stacks, we got lucky with the attack and the crit rate, but the other 2 aren't particularly too useful. I mean, Elemental Mastery is useful, but the defense isn't going to really help us out for this character. For his Goblet, now again, we rolled amazing stats on the sub-stats, but the main stat was defense. And because obviously when I was playing before, my DILUC kept getting hit by these big swings, so I decided to go with this one initially, and the crit dam and the attack, double attack, and the energy recharge were some pretty decent stats, so we held on to this one. And for his final piece, we had the boost to the crit rate. I mean, if we can get a 50% crit rate, that means that 50% of the time we should be hitting off those crit attacks. The substats, again, not the best, but we did manage to get a crit damage on there, and this was an initial piece that we were using sort of while we were leveling. It was used quite early on. So now if you just let me pause, I'm going to switch over my artifacts to my main set and show you Diluc when he's not so trash, when he's bit better, deals a lot more damage. Okay guys, so here we have, this is our main build Diluc. So as you can see, we've got an attack of 2,501 and a defense of 810. So as you can see, we've obviously changed the artifacts around and we've changed the weapon around so that we can maximize his potential, and obviously we've definitely gone with high attack. Let's take a look. So we've got a 48.5% crit rate. So we obviously have taken a tiny bit away from that, but it's not too much that we're not hitting off too many crits. We're still averaging at around sort of almost half of our hits doing that crit. Crit dam 72.9%, so we're still up there with the crit dam. Again, there's been a slight loss to the crit dam, but that is absolutely fine. We can definitely still get a lot more damage out of this due to the obviously hefty increase to our attack. Energy recharge is still pretty good, and also we now have got the pyro damage bonus of an extra 15% along with the 15% that we had before to the resistances. So let's take a look at what's changed. We've changed the weapon. Now, as much as this guy loves swinging a big sword around, it does matter which sword you give him. So we've got the level 80 Wolf's Gravestone, which I'm sure most of you know, but is going to give the biggest boost to attack possibly in the game. So we've got a base attack of 532, we've got an attack modifier of 45.3, plus its first passive ability is going to increase our attack by a further 20%. Okay, and then on a hit with an enemy less than 30 HP, it's going to have the potential to increase all party members' attack by 40% for 12 seconds, which can occur every 30 seconds. So again, this is a sword built for this guy. It's built for dealing damage, and that's what this guy likes to do. So let's take a look at the Artefact Range. Now I am rocking the Crimson Witch of Flame set, so let's just tell you a bit about that set. That set is going to give us a 15% bonus to pyro damage, and the 4-piece set bonus increases an overload and burning damage by 40%, and it also increases rise melt damage by 15%, and using an elemental skill is increasing the 2-piece set benefits and effects by 50% for 10 seconds, and it's got a max of 3 stacks. So that is going to be an extra 45% pyro damage. That is big. For a guy that deals pyro damage and wants to be dealing consistent pyro damage, that bonus is huge. So let's go into the stats themselves. Let's start here. Right, so first one, I got lucky. I got the crit rate and double attack on the substats. The elemental mastery is helpful but not ideal, and the HP we're not really too fussed on, but the double attack and the crit rate was an absolute must for this character. Moving backwards, we've got the Wanderer's String Kettle. Now the only reason I have this is it was the highest 5-star I had, with a massive boost of 42.7% to his attack, plus the extra attack, and he's got energy recharge. So out of the options that I had, this was the best one. I didn't need to go for the other witches piece because I've already got the 4-piece bonus, so we decided to go, let's just max this out to 18. We're not going to go to 20 just yet in case we do get that final piece. We're going to get to 20 on that so that we can get that bonus as well, but it's a massive attack boost for him. Next, we've got the Witch's End Time. Again, we're dealing attack. Main stat attack 42.7%, and we've also managed to pick up crit dam 11.7%, and we've also got a boost to the elemental mastery as well. For his feather, we've gone, obviously it's going to have attack, and the substats, we've got very good substats. We've got energy recharge, we've got attack, and we've got crit damage. Obviously we did manage to pick up that defense, but for the other 3 stats we can deal with this one as well. And for his flower, again, flower was pretty decent. We managed to get crit rate, crit dam, and attack. Again, we did pick up that 1 defense, but we can't really have it all. And as a result, that is why you can now see from his attributes how much more attack this guy has. So what we're going to do is let's put it to the test and take on the same boss twice using the original substats and we'll test out the higher substats. So we're going to test the sort of trash building of Diluc versus the non-trash build of Diluc. So guys, here we are, we're going to take on the Electro boss. Now we are going to do this just with Diluc alone, we won't be using any of the other characters, unless he obviously gets wiped out. But let's take on this boss. Let's see the damage we can do. So there we go, we're doing sort of 1926 damage. So it's not bad. He is hitting quite hard. So again, even what you would call sort of a trash building of Diluc is still going to deal massive amounts of damage. That is probably props to the character, just showing you how good he really is. And here you can see we're chaining the elemental skill in with his normal attacks to get that maximum damage. Now we are going to save his elemental burst only because we want to use it maximum. We want to use it on the end part of this boss. There you go. You can see the damage that we're doing. Can we get it before it hits us? Yes, we can. And there we go. So as you can see the kind of damage that we were doing there. Let's take a look at this again, and we'll see with the main artifact set. Now guys, let's take a look at Diluc with his main set of artifacts and his main weapon. Let's take a look at the damage we can get here. So there we go, you can see we're almost doing double the amount of damage from before. That's with the pyro attacks. We are getting almost double the damage. Let's take a look at some base swings. So there you can see we're sort of still hitting around the ones, but there we go, we've got a 4,500 damage there, as you can see, and we're hitting that consecutively. So we'll go again with the pyro, let's mix it in a bit, and you can see the amount of damage we're doing now is ridiculous. You know, we're sort of talking about taking this boss out in maybe half the time from before. Now we are going to have to wait the extra 3 seconds to take it out. But as you can see, we defeated that boss in maybe about half the time it took us from before. So as you can see from this main build, it deals a lot more damage. Well guys, that sums up today's video. We have taken a look at the ultimate question, is Diluc trash? And I think we've decided it totally depends on the way you build him. He definitely is a character that is designed to deal damage, but if you haven't taken the time or you haven't looked into his artifact range, then he could be a character that doesn't necessarily deal as much damage as he could be. I wouldn't say he's a trash character, but definitely if you don't give him the right artifacts, it could lead to him being not as efficient as possible. And obviously we all can't have a 5-star weapon, but we do get the prototype Animus, which if leveled does also deal ridiculous amounts of damage and can get you the same benefits. And obviously the artifact, the Witch's set, once you get to sort of AR40 when you can drop those 5-star pieces, is again something you've got to look into. But let me know what you think of Diluc. Do you have Diluc? What's your build of Diluc? Is there anything I might have missed out, or is there anything that you do differently that gets you more damage? Let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and make sure you turn on notifications to find out when I'm posting some more Genshin Impact information. And from your boy FrostiesAmigos, I'm out.